So, I believe that the victims of Parkland are part of the Kennedy curse. You know, John Kennedy dies at Parkland, and, you know, I'm probably not exactly sane, but I'm definitely not. But, you know, I always had this conviction that that was me, you know, John F. Kennedy. I was returning, you know, from the tribe of Dan, you know, and it says here, and his deadly wound was healed, and all the world followed after the beast. But I didn't really believe that the world's gonna follow after me. I'd more like the spirit of this JFK, you know, comes out of the sea and influences a bunch of people, and I just had all these signs that the dead Kennedys were with me, and but the dead Kennedys are never dead, you see, and dreams do not come true in this life, and I pray, okay? I just pray that their dreams come true in the next, because the evolution of Oswald the Lucky Rabbit, okay? 2019 was the 100-year anniversary of the founding of the Fascist Party. It says Dave Lee, like King David, and then Lee means meadow, okay? And it says right there, down under, do you come from a land down under, Sydney? You know that song, Do You Come From a Land Down Under? It's, you know, Sydney, Australia. That's the first woman I called my queen was someone I knew from Sydney, Australia, where the huntsman spider comes from. That's what I wanted, but anyway, the tribe of Dan has multiple reptiles assigned to it. And Katana and Jade, they brought a reptile with them, and it said it was like an insurance type thing. So Gecko, you know, he's got the Australian accent from a land down under. And it says right here, evolution. What are the odds? Evolution of Oswald. And it's like Lee Harvey Oswald has returned, you know? And I would be so happy if she would blow my brains out, but, you know, dreams do not come true in this life, and, you know, we all gotta die some way, okay? So we might as well try to look on the bright side of life, and try to pray for the grace to love suffering. I hate this stuff too, but, you know, Geico Soul Insurance, you can save your soul without carrying a torture stake and wearing a crown of thorns, okay? Let's try to make this, try to find humor. We gotta have dark humor, because obviously God is choosing to, I mean, come on, read the Old Testament. I mean, seriously, he's got like a way higher kill count than, and genocide, oh my god, let's not go there. But anyway, the victims of Parkland started John Kennedy, and then Lee Harvey Oswald died at Parkland 2 days later, okay? And this right here, the hand of Fatima, has an eyeball on it. I would not know these victims of Parkland if it hadn't been for getting kidnapped and taken to Fatima, Portugal, when my mother won custody of us and tried to raise us there, and that brought me here because of someone my dad met on the way there after he kidnapped us. So, you know, I think it was worth it. I used to be a half marathon distance runner, and jumped off a 3-story building in a suicide attempt, and that was how my beloved patron saint of suicide, you know, she's, I have a very soft spot in my heart for suicides, who people think they don't, they're gonna be suffering on the other side, you know. Anyway, it's a very, very frightening place to be when you're at that moment where you decide you're gonna take your own life. And I woke up unable to move. I couldn't talk with tubes coming out of my throat, and I was fed through a tube going into my stomach, and I used to run over 2 hours straight, marathon distances, and my dreams will not come true, and I will not be able to even run again. I run like a clown now, okay, and I'm just gonna get older, fall apart, but, you know, it was worth it, okay? If I could go back and, because if I hadn't done that, I wouldn't have moved into room 17, the day 17 died, and 17 were injured, to investigate this, and that's when at least some good things started happening. I'm definitely not sane, okay? I'm not always sober, but, and I don't always, you know, a lot of those Old Testament prophets, like Elijah, and or even people like John the Baptist, or, I mean, people, they were considered totally nuts anyway, so I don't even know what sanity is. The scriptures make God look pretty insane. I think, but it was worth it because if I had not jumped off that building, I would have not have, recognized the number 17. It in Roman numerals, it means I have lived. Okay, and it's often found on Italian tombstones. It's like the superstitious number for 13. Here in America, sometimes there's not a 13th floor, and in Italy, they often do not have a 17th floor because of its association with the supernatural, with ghosts, and how often it's on tombstones and what it means in Roman numerals and stuff. And so I knew there was something going on, and I realized, because the Jade Emperor, the Jade Rabbit, gold has a price. Jade is priceless. The Chinese proverbs, and Shinto. Okay, Shinto became my religion, but it's not contradicting anything. It's just the belief in the kami, and I'll explain that more later. But I wrote a letter to Emperor Hirohito and put a big capital H at the end of the letter and placed it in a haunt in a room closed off to the public for the enshrined kami spirits. The following day, I went to Mass. I received Holy Communion, offered up the treasures of Eucharist for Japan and the Imperial Dynasty, which they are the oldest surviving dynasty in the world, and a piece of jade stone was given to the first Japanese emperor that was to be treated like it was the sun goddess herself, okay? Not sun goddess like idol, but like she was created, then deified, kind of like Jacob deified Rebecca and served him well. He fought with God and won, And that jade stone and the circular mirror that she looked into, which got haunted, on a day I called Japan Day, I went to the cathedral I was praying for Japan, and I turn around and there's a picture of Maximilian Kolbe, and he was from Poland, in Meadow Polak, a Polish Jew. He went to Nagasaki, and St. Paul is called the Sister of Nagasaki. I grab the paper, walk out of the cathedral with the paper in my hand, and I find a circular mirror. I'll have to show you that later, but circular mirrors are the most common and sacred relics in Shinto, and there just happens to be a monument on Capitol Hill where it's got my birth year of the Fire Bunny, 1987, a ladder I call Jacob's Ladder. I crawled up the ladder and I can see my reflection everywhere. It's a fireman's shrine with a fireman holding a woman, a little girl, and I can see my reflection everywhere. It's a circular mirror, and Amaterasu said to treat the jade stone and the circular mirror as if it was her, okay? Because her spirit charges those items. And so, I left that Assumption Church after I wrote that letter to Emperor Hirohito and put the big capital H at the end of it, okay? And when I got to the